welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you the new lessons that are coming to the Colorful Apple Book Club for the month of December. And we have kind of a collection of holiday books and we have some winter snow books. So all things that are kind of present in the month of in the month of December. And I know a lot of times we talk about Christmas in the month of December, but I think it's important to be talking about different holidays. So we do have a Christmas book. We also have Kwanzaa, the winter solstice, and then Let's Celebrate is a great one because it talks about a lot of different holidays. So I'm really excited to share this one with you, but I might save that one to the end. So let's dive into each one of these books and what lessons we're using for each one. Let's start with the Polar Express. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I even got to meet the author, Chris Van Allsburg, and this book is actually signed by him, which just makes me really excited. But this book is perfect not only for December, but for talking about visualizing with students and using their five senses to think about what's happening in the story and to make that movie in their mind. So as you go through this story, you'll be able to talk about the things that students see, what they hear, what they smell, especially when they're on the train. If you've read the book, when they're on the train and they're drinking the hot chocolate, and I can always just smell that in my mind. But when you go through the story, you have the lesson plan. The talking points are printed out on one page, but you can also print them out on sticky notes. The anchor chart is talking about visualizing, and it kind of has that train for the Polar Express to go along with that book. Students will write their visualizations based on what they read in the book. There's some quotes from the book, and then their visualization. My words are not working very well today. I apologize. And then my favorite part of this is the craftivity to go along with it. Students are going to create a train, and each car they're going to draw a picture of what they smell, what they see, what they taste, what they hear, and what they feel. I just put some little pictures there, but they're going to draw their own, cut it out and connect it and create their own little visualization train to go along with the Polar Express. So that is the lesson for reading for the month of December. And let's move on to our writing. For writing, this is another one of my favorite books, and I feel like it's not as widely known. It's a fairly new book. It's called 10 Ways to Hear Snow, and it's perfect for teaching onomatopoeia because the young girl is walking to her grandmother's house after a really big snowstorm, and she's talking about all the different ways that we can hear snow, from someone shoveling the driveway, to kids throwing snowballs, to the windshield wipers on a car. She talks about all of those in this book, and it gives lots of examples. Well, it gives 10 examples of onomatopoeia in this story, but beautiful for reading in the season of winter, whether it's December or even January or February. But again, you'll have the lesson plan, all of the discussion points printed out on this sheet, and again, you can do them on sticky notes. This is the activity for students to fill in the different types of onomatopoeia and then come up with their own. A very fun anchor chart. I didn't stick to snow for this one, so you can use it with any book or any lesson, but it just gives examples of what onomatopoeia looks like for students. And then to go along with the story, let's see if I can get this to lay out correctly. They'll have a cloud, and underneath they have snowflakes, and they can either write the examples of onomatopoeia from the book, which is what I did here, or they can write their own, but it has those snowflakes. And then we have some task cards, and there are also some for the Polar Express. I think I forgot to share those, but task cards about students fill in the blank with onomatopoeia that goes in the sentence. So using the book 10 Ways to Hear Snow by Kathy Camper to talk about onomatopoeia for this writing lesson. Next, we have our science lesson, and this will be on the winter solstice, and it's using the book The Shortest Day, Celebrating the Winter Solstice by Wendy Pfeffer. And so you're going to go into what the winter solstice is, how scientists kind of first discovered it years ago, and what it means today, and how some people even celebrate the winter solstice. You'll have the lesson plan and then an example of what the winter solstice looks like and what it means on this anchor chart. Those talking points, again, on Post-it notes or on that sheet. The activity sheet to go along with this one is kind of different. I thought it would be neat for students to chart the sunrise and sunset. So you can either do this every day in class or they can take it home and kind of observe. I did an example one from my state in January of this year when the sun set and when the sun was rising and kind of that shape, and see if students can find any patterns. So I thought that would be kind of a neat activity for them to do. And then for the craftivity, kind of a flip book. What is the winter solstice? When is it? What does it look like? You can either use the one that is pre-printed like this, or there's a blank one and students can fill it in on their own to show what they know. And then for task cards, we have some true or false questions about the winter solstice based on what they learned in the story as you read it together. So that is our science lesson for the month of December, talking about the winter solstice using the book, The Shortest Day. This next one I think might be my favorite. I think I've already told you that I have a few favorite books in this collection, but I love this lesson because it talks about lots of different holidays that are celebrated around the world throughout the year. So as I mentioned before, December is a big month. Really, the words are not working today. December is a big month to be talking about holidays. We tend to talk a lot about Christmas, maybe Hanukkah, but I think it's important for students to learn about all different holidays. And a lot of times classes will do Christmas around the world, but I think it's interesting to do holidays around the world. So in this book, the actual story is very brief. It goes through 13 different holidays, and there's only about a sentence or two kind of in a rhyming way talking about each holiday. But then when you flip to the back, there's a lot of information. It dives into information on each one of the holidays and gives quite a bit of information. So this story is kind of unique in that you could read the story really quick, but if you want to dive into each of the holidays, that could take longer, and you could really get a lot out of it. So on each of the sticky notes or each of the talking points, you're going to notice that there's a lot of them because I kind of gave basic information about each one. So as you're reading, if you want to go over each holiday, I gave kind of 3 facts about each one: where it's celebrated, when it's celebrated, and kind of how they celebrate. And I made sure I put kind of a note at the top that says there are a lot of talking points. I don't recommend stopping at all of them while you read the story, but to go back and talk about them later on. And then the anchor chart is actually 3 parts. This is just one part. But again, I outline each one of the holidays, where it's celebrated, when, and then kind of a basic information about it and a flag to represent that country. But like I said, there's 3 of these because it goes through all 13 of the holidays. For an activity sheet, students can share about their favorite holiday, what their favorite holiday is, who they celebrate with, the food they eat, and when they celebrate. Kind of following along with the basic information of all the holidays in the book, but they're sharing about their favorite holiday, whether it's their birthday or the winter solstice or St. Patrick's Day, whatever their favorite holiday is and how they celebrate it. And then this is my favorite part. Students are going to create a passport for their holidays around the world. Again, this will take a little bit longer, but students will get a lot of information from it. So you can have students write the country, the holiday that's celebrated there, when the holiday is celebrated, and how they celebrate, and then they can draw a picture to go along with it. You also have the option of making it like a real passport and they get a stamp. So I've included flag stamps for each of the holidays, and students can cut them out and glue them in as they fill out their passport. But I thought that was really neat. You can decide to do all of the holidays, just a few, but students will have this to kind of refer back to as they learn about all of the different holidays that are in the book, Let's Celebrate: Special Days Around the World by Kate DePalma. And then our last one is for social emotional learning. The book that I have for SEL is Little Rabbit's Kwanzaa, and this is by Donna L. Washington. And it's a sweet story about Little Rabbit who feels like he's too young, too small to help out during this special time in his family. And he kind of is looking for ways to help and finds other animals. And at the end, they all come together to help out his grandma, who's actually sick in the book. And so they all come together to help her when she's not feeling so good. So I think this is an important topic during the month of December. I feel like sometimes students can start to get a little self-centered about receiving gifts and doing all of those different celebrations, that I think it's important to remind them that during the holidays is a really important time to help out others. And that's what a lot of the discussion points are going to be talking about, how they can help others, especially during the holiday season or any time of the year. And then you can make an interactive anchor chart with them. We can help, and they can come up with different ways that they can help out, whether it's around the house, in the community, at school. But having that discussion and talking about those ways really makes students more aware of it, especially at a time when they might forget. And then the worksheet kind of delves into that. I can help my teacher, I can help my family, I can help my friends, and then they can make a list of who else they can help. And then because this book is about Kwanzaa, for the Craftivity, students are going to make a kinara with the candles, and on each candle they're going to write different ways that they can help by washing the dishes, cleaning up, and they're going to write one on each of the candles. And then the task cards gives them different scenarios and what they could do. It asks them, what could you do to help in this scenario? So again, it gives them those specific ways that they can help out and gets them really to start thinking about that. So Little Rabbit's Kwanzaa is a great book for talking with students about how they can help others, especially during the month of December. And let's just go through all of the books again to talk about which new lessons are in the Colorful Apple Book Club. So we have Little Rabbit's Kwanzaa, perfect for teaching an SEL lesson about helping others. The Polar Express, a good one for teaching visualizing and reading. 10 Ways to Hear Snow for teaching onomatopoeia in writing. The Shortest Day for teaching about the winter solstice in science. And to teach about holidays around the world in social studies, you can use the book Let's Celebrate. I hope that this is helpful. I will definitely leave a link to join the Colorful Apple Book Club in the description box down below. That way, as soon as you'll join, you'll have access to not only these lessons, but over 200 lessons in the Read Aloud library, where you can grab books for science, social studies, SEL, reading, and writing. You can download the lessons right away. So that way, all you need to do is print them out, read the book with your students, and your lesson is ready to go. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. But I hope to see you in the club very soon. Have a great week.